Dan Basse with Ag Resource Company joining us. And Dan, as we talk about this situation with Iran, and you look at it from an agricultural perspective, how big of an impact do you think this has on the situation going into spring planting?
Well, the impact all comes down to China, right? And how the U.S. reacts with China geopolitically. And so, if the war is still ongoing by, let's say, the meetings that are scheduled in early April, we believe it'll be difficult for Trump and Xi to get together. I don't think Trump will want to leave the United States. And so, in the background of the market, that's something that's being discussed and actively digested in terms of what will happen. That 8 million metric tons looms large over the soybean market as we head into summer. Again, remember, the world has a abundance of soybeans. And so if the Chinese do not buy that 8 million tons from the United States, the bean market falls back to roughly $10. So we've got a plenty of bean premium in here for China to come forward. That's how this war all comes together in our minds at Ag Resource.
Are you concerned at all about the shipping lanes and fertilizer getting through and all of that, continuing to flow while this conflict is ongoing?
Yeah, the 17% of the world's urea and approximately comes from Iran, and so I believe the United States has laid in its we need for spring. That doesn't mean prices can't go up, but in saying that, I do believe the next important country to follow would be Brazilian imports as we look forward to their new crop of soybeans that'll start to be planted in early September. So I'm down in Brazil right now, and there's a lot of talk about fertilizer availability for that first Brazilian corn crop and that first soybean crop that'll start to be planted next September here in Brazil. But in the United States, I'm relatively comfortable with fertilizer supplies, so prices may move up a little bit. It's Brazil where I'm more concerned longer term in terms of availability for their new crop that'll start to be planted in September.
All right, Dan Basse, thank you so much for being here. Sure appreciate it.